guys, make sure to do y'all's own research.
Abdullah Hashem, the new MAHDI, or has the Antichrist got here? You be the judge.
I am Abdullah, the first name mentioned of the Mahdis, and I have come forth as the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam and the awaited Yemeni Imam Ahmad al-Hassan alayhi salam. No one in 1400 years has claimed to be Abdullah in the will but me, proving that the will truly is a protection against misguidance, for none can claim to be in the will except for its rightful owner.
Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about Abdullah Hashem. Have y'all heard of him? I don't think he's the Antichrist, but some people are thinking he is. What do you think? The MAHDI? The Antichrist? Normal average Joe?
Joni, thanks. He grabbed headlines a few years ago claiming he had produced the first human clone. Remember the stories of Clonade and the man named Rael? Two Indian filmmakers will premiere a documentary tonight about the man and the Raelian Revolution. Abdullah Hashem and Joseph McGowan join us this morning. Tell us
I'm not an expert on, like, you know, cult guys, but these guys look really lame.
First of all, again, why? Why did you have a desire to do a documentary, and how did you get inside his cult?
Well, Angela, I'm a weird guy myself, and I'm interested in weird things. So, yeah, we actually worked on a documentary before about a Yeti hunter who hunts Bigfoot, so we decided that the next step would be the UFO cult.
So what did you guys find when you got inside? I think we have some of the documentaries from the film that you guys again are premiering tonight. What was it like? Was it what you expected?
It was very strange. It was a lot stranger than I expected, because I'd never been in an environment like that before. But it's definitely an experience I wouldn't take back either.
Okay, let me tell you why this guy's so interesting to me in general. I think he's so interesting because of the fact that he's not your usual, like, cult leader. Now, I don't necessarily know what a cult leader looks like or what, but I don't picture it being this guy, okay? Him and his friend are kind of lame, you know. His cult, you know, what happened was that he was like kind of a full of himself type of guy. I mean, he even at school, you know, him and his best friend there, Joseph McGowan, they actually did the prom video for the school prom. He's from Indiana. He doesn't really necessarily claim that he's from Egypt. However, his dad's Egyptian, his mother is American, and
from Indiana University, with an interest in diverse religions and with a passion for exposing cults. Alongside his friend Joseph McGowan, they formed Hashem Films and Dragon Slayer Productions.
He's just a normal guy living in Indiana. He's going to school, and he decided to do a project on the Raelian.
The Raelian cult, a UFO-centered religion founded by Claude Vorelon, aka Rael.
So, what do they actually believe? Well, as cults go, it's actually fairly mild. Members are encouraged to meditate, explore sexual freedom, and just generally live their best lives while trying to contribute to scientific advancement. Followers believe that these aliens possess cloning technology, and if you do your best to follow their lifestyle, there's a chance that you'll be resurrected as a clone on the alien homeworld. According to Moya Henderson, head of the religion's Irish chapter, we're told that when we die, there's a triangular-shaped bone above the bridge of the nose, which is to be removed and sent to the head office, because that will have our DNA and will be used to facilitate our recreation. It's a bit strange, maybe, but no less believable than any other religion, to be honest.
They believe humans were created by extraterrestrials. In 1973, Rael claims he was contacted by beings from another planet.
I thought that I would just tell my journalist friends about it and they wouldn't believe me and just laugh at me. But then a trap door opened at the bottom and I saw 2 feet, and then 2 legs. And then a small man, about 1.40 meters, came out slowly and walked towards me. That was the most intense moment.
Religion. So when he's doing the Raelian religion, he says infiltrate. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, because the Raelians seem to say that he was not infiltrating anything, that he was actually said that he was doing a document on them for a school project. Come to find out, when they filed the lawsuit on them, because ultimately the Raelians were really upset about it, and they filed a lawsuit against Hashem and McGowan, and stating that they, lied to him, and they were defamation against their name, their brand, whoever. And I feel like it's accurate.
There's some among us now on Earth.
Raelism teaches that the Elohim have sent messengers throughout history to guide humanity. These messengers include figures known to us as major prophets like Moses, Buddha, Jesus, and Mohammed.
Indescribable panic.
Ce serait une panique indescriptible.
But what about just for our camera?
For your cameras, it'll happen in the embassy, where all of the press from the world will be invited, including you. For this will be the most important event in the history of mankind. Humanity will finally meet its creators.
Rael, in 2008, the International Raelian Movement filed a federal lawsuit in the Eastern District of California against Abdullah Hashem and his media companies. The charges were serious: racketeering, fraud, blackmail, extortion, and defamation. Hashem operated under names like Hashem Films while posed as a filmmaker. He gained the trust of RM members, promising to produce a fair documentary. But instead, he exploited that access, secretly collecting footage and personal likenesses of RM members. Then came the blackmail. Hashem demanded that the Raelian movement shut down operations in the US and Egypt, that their leader step down, and that all donations be returned. When Aram refused, Hashem launched a smear campaign. He produced and promoted a film called Little Claudie, filled with false accusations of criminality, sexual misconduct, and financial fraud. Despite being properly served, Hashem never showed up in court. The judge entered a default judgment against him, ruling that he had no legal right to the stolen footage.
Now, on top of that, so now they say that they served him papers and, that he was served correctly for the actual lawsuit. But you have his friend, McGowan, who I'm going to say they're two peas in a pod. They kind of like are best friends or whatever. They are going into business doing this production film crew thing together. And on top of that, they're both comedians and they're doing stand-up. So they're both charismatic. They get along. They're doing fun things. I mean, some like some cool guys, but they are kind of lame to be as far as cult leaders. Okay. Now he was served and then he ran off to Egypt, and McGowan actually did file back saying that he wanted to, do it separately, and he wanted to do his own thing, which is weird because they didn't end up doing that at all. What actually happened is nobody showed up for court. The lawyers from the Raelian cult did show up for court, and when he showed up, he showed up via phone call, and that's weird. Like, you know about court, and you don't just make a phone call unless you know somebody. Come to find out that the judge that's in charge over this particular case, his last name comes back to Ashkenazi Jews, which I find kind of interesting because we know Ashkenazi Jews is the ones that are, I guess, infiltrated in with the Nazi, if you would, and all that. Okay. Too much. Okay. But basically, the Ashkenazi Jews are the ones who are pretending to be Ashkenazi Jews, and they actually run the world. So basically, all the times that you talk about, oh, is he Jewish, on Hollywood and stuff like that, that's who we're talking about. Okay. And I'm not trying to be racist, and I have nothing against any Jews. I'm just saying that's what usually they come back to, Ashkenazi, which is weird because his name comes back to Ashkenazi. And the judge, actually, if you translate his name, it goes to Druid. I don't know what that means. Neither here nor there. I'm just saying it's a fun fact. Matter of fact, there are really fun facts in this whole, like his own name. Abdullah, for instance, it means in Hebrew, it means to serve, a servant to God, right? So Allah means a servant to God, and that's interesting. Hashem means the name, so it's like the name that's above names. It means like literally the name that you'd use for God. It's very odd.
Hashem fled the United States and relocated to Egypt, and that's when everything began to shift. In Egypt, Hashem shed the mask of exposer and began to embrace the myth.
People think that the Antichrist is supposed to come out of the East, okay? if he's supposed to come out of the East, it's kind of weird that then Hashem runs off to Egypt, and per his name, that does fit. He had his production that he did start with Joseph McGowan was called Dragon Slayer Productions. He had that one, and he also had Hashem Productions. And it's weird. It's all weird. And on top of everything else, nobody shows up to court. So the judge says, we're going to give them a little bit extra time. Nobody shows up to court still, and they have the same lawyer who's still calling in on the phone call. And you're like, that's still odd. And not only did he call in on a
Boisselier, the successor to Rael in 2003. Hashem and
phone call, but he had charges for racketeering, for defamation, for slander, he had all types of different charges that just got dropped because all they wanted was a video back. That is like a waste of the court's time. On top of that, and I'm sure it could be done. Well, maybe they came to agreement. I don't know, because no one ever went to court. With that being said, the next time you see Hashem and Joseph McGowan, but Hashem, he has one eye that's smaller than the other. Well, no, because he's the one that's claiming the name, and whoever claims it is the rightful heir, whatever. I don't know. Then you have where he's not saying that he is the Antichrist, which we know he's not, but he is saying that he is the successor, meaning like if your grandparents pass away, their successor would be your parents and then you, and ultimately, it makes a little bit of sense, but either way, now he's for this cult stuff whenever he was totally against it. Not only was he totally against it, but he was going out of his way to make sure that he, I guess you say, blackmailed the Iranian cult, because he wanted them to basically surrender and say, hey, we're give all our money back because we're a fraud and so forth. And that's what he was trying to do to multiple cults. And from my understanding, he did do that to multiple people or cults. I don't know if he actually was successful. I believe he was, like he says, he was hunting Yetis. I don't know. But it is kind of weird. Then on top of that, he has this cult he's going on. When he goes to Egypt, he goes to meet with the first Mahdi, and his name was Abdullah Hashem, and no one really knows what happened to this guy. This guy just like vanished off the face of the earth. So one day he's going and he's meeting with this guy. The next he's actually already following him, and he had the MAHDI, I think it's the White Banners of the East. Yeah, White Banners of the East. And that's interesting because White Banners of the East is, okay, cool. So the guy disappears. He meets with Abdullah Hashem, and then before you know it, they say he's in hiding as of some kind of war that went on. I don't really know, but he's nowhere. And I guess according to Islam literature, according to Islam, the Quran and whatever else they read, I'm not really sure, so I don't want to say it wrong, but there's supposed to be two Mahdis. There's supposed to be 12 successors and two Mahdis, and the second Mahdi is going to be the, I guess, accurate Pope, which we know the Pope is probably not. You know what? We'll save that for another time. But anyway, so he is claiming to be the rightful Pope, the heir to the, I guess, the rightful successor that he was appointed by, through the bloodline and so forth. He also is claiming that he is actually with not with the one that he went down there to meet, which was Abdullah Hashem, but he's actually made his own cult group, religion. Okay, completely different. It's going to be like Islam 2.0. Okay, and it's a little bit different. However, he does believe that Jesus is the Christ that came. He just believes that he's the successor, and he also believes in some weird stuff, okay? Some real naughty stuff, okay? What I'm thinking is he was into and like actively searching into the Egyptian stuff, being, trying to tear apart these different cults, and some of which were alien, like the ufology type stuff. The Raelian is in charge of clonade, okay?
a massive march, a massive Muslim march, where right now they're singing over Chicago, Muhammad is the only one, may Allah be lifted up. They're declaring that all Jews and all Christians would be removed from this city. I mean, this is, you know I've been talking about this over the last week, and yet here we are right in the middle of it.
Alien is actually where the clones are, so
are being fought for in the spirit. I don't know if you need any more example than this right here. We didn't make this happen. We literally just walked up to the exact place where we're doing a Jesus March today in Chicago. The church in America is asleep.
The whole cloning with the whole, celebrities and the clones and all that, that's from Raelian. And the Raelians believe in what's called a dead chip head, which is like transhumanism. So they believe that you can live forever on like a chip that you can place into other people and so forth. That's the idea, okay?